Nearly a decade ago, I had a brain operation, a near-death experience, and I was struggling with debt. People like to say that trading changed their life. However, I would say it's what you do that changes your life. How I started trading, how I survived the learning curve, the habits that I developed, the people who have helped me, the experiences that I gained, altogether made me the trader that I am today. So I've been known for the verified profits, 90% win ratio, the fundamental short seller, and you may have seen my interviews here and there. I realize that the trading content that I've shared on this channel has mostly been about my strategies, trade recaps, stock analysis. I haven't really shared my past with you guys. How did I become the trader that I am today? What did the journey look like? What problems did I have? What was the one major trade that turned things around for me? I'm David Capablanca, a verified trader who specializes in fundamental and statistical stock trading. My trading journey began in 2016, but it only took off near the end of 2019. In 2019, I was working out of a shared office space, spending nearly 20 hours a day studying stocks. I had a small $2,000 short selling margin account, well under the PDT rule, and I was taking naps in a little closet twice a day to stay focused. This was a stage of my life where I was tracking only paid pump and dump promotions, dedicating hours to researching and analyzing these scams. One stock that stood out during this time was Predictive Technology Group, PRED. This stock was going absolutely bonkers, and I became obsessed with it. I was spending hours on forums and message boards, posting all my due diligence, and debating with bag holders who refused to accept the truth. Why was PRED so significant? For the first time, I immersed myself in the fundamentals of a company. I was digging deep into its history, analyzing the board members, the CEO, and the promotional activity surrounding the stock. PRED was an OTC pink sheet stock, a hotbed for scams, and I quickly uncovered a trail of red flags that only validated my thesis. Here's why OTC stocks appealed to me back then. They were like the minor leagues of trading, with slower level 2 action and weaker competition compared to listed stocks. Most OTC stocks are outright scams, making it easier to identify opportunities as a short seller. Unlike listed stocks, OTCs weren't heavily traded by funds or sophisticated traders, giving me an edge with my research. With PRED, I saw the scam clearly. But no matter how much I argued on the message boards or shared my findings, bag holders would dismiss me as a hater. That only motivated me more to uncover every detail about the company. During this time, I caught the attention of Nate from Hindenburg Research. Hindenburg wasn't as well known back then as it is now, but even then, Nate and his team were highly respected in the short selling space. Nate noticed my posts and reached out, expressing interest in what I was uncovering about PRED. To be clear, I don't take any credit for the short reports Hindenburg later published on PRED. That's all their incredible work. But the fact that they acknowledged my research was a huge moment for me as a newbie trader. One memorable event with PRED was when the CEO took a photo at the NASDAQ. He didn't even make a statement. He just posted a picture on Twitter. This single image caused a frenzy, with people assuming PRED was getting uplisted to the NASDAQ. The stock started pumping like crazy, but the reality was that it was just a tour. At the time, I was short about 100 shares, and I ended up getting squeezed for a couple $100. It was a tough lesson on how easily a stock can move on hype and misinformation, even when the fundamentals are screaming scam. Eventually, PRED collapsed as I knew it would. Later during the COVID pandemic, the stock saw another brief resurgence thanks to biotech hype, but Hindenburg came back with another report sealing its fate. Here's something funny to share with you. In the PRED pump, there was a notorious pumper known as the Birdman. This guy, infamous for having a parrot on his shoulder, had been running pump and dump schemes since the 1980s. He was part of the PRED pump and later another scam called RAFA, which had connections to the Russian mafia. The Birdman later disappeared after these scams blew up and ended up in Thailand. Interestingly, he reached out to me years later, likely remembering how relentless I was in exposing his scams on message boards. This was another reminder of how far I had come since those early days. So recently, not that long ago, the Birdman actually reached out to me via X and Twitter, and he was spewing about how he's in Thailand now and how, the Russian mob was after him, and he's donating bikes, and he's such a nice guy to all the kids in Thailand. And so he's like in his 80s now. He's like way out there in age. So I don't know, he's not really all that He's like really erratic. Anyway, I wanted to bring him on for like an interview. And then after I was speaking with him, I was like, I think it's probably not a good idea. This guy's all over the place. But this is the infamous pump and dumper of the 1980s and the 90s. So he does not stop spewing about he was on the cover of Barron's like in 1985 or something like that. I don't know, 1990, something around that time. And yeah, he was on the cover of Barron's, and they had him on the cover, he's on the phones. So he was like a pump and dumper, like calling people on the phones left and right, like the Wolf of Wall Street style. Literally like the Wolf of Wall Street style. And just years later, 2024, he's hitting me up. At first, he's cursing at me. Then he sees like I'm not cursing back. Like I'm not gonna be like interacting like that with the like. And then he realized, oh, actually, David's kind of a nice guy. And then he's like, because I'm not giving hate back. Actually, I think it's entertaining what this guy did. He has a parrot on his shoulder. I gave him like a WhatsApp number that's not really my number because he's a scammer. So like, and we spoke, and I was like, hey, is this really the Birdman? Are you really the Birdman that reached out on X and Twitter? And he's like, yeah, I'm the guy with the bird on my shoulder. And he did a video, and he had the bird on his shoulder. That's the Birdman. He said he's in Thailand now. He's like retiring in Thailand. And I remember like when I was in Thailand, there was a lot of old guys there, old expats. He was the main guy behind PRED, Birdman, Birdman, Birdman. That's all I heard about in the message boards. Everybody looked on those gullible people at the time on that message board. They looked up to this guy. They were like, what's the Birdman say? Any updates on the Birdman, the Birdman, the Birdman? And I was like, who is this Birdman? Later on, unfortunately, after the PRED collapse, and it's just like, it's done. I think it's in the gray sheets now, or just like eradicated from the markets. I went back and revisited the PRED message boards. The last things I heard was like, yo, that guy reverse long, he was right. We gave him a hard time, but he was right. And unfortunately in the markets, it's like, I'm not out here to be proven right, you know what I mean? I don't want to see people lose all their money and then like, yeah, I told you so. But like, hey, that's just the way it is sometimes, man. So like, they regrettably, they were like, yeah, a few people, they were like, yeah, he was right. So, and the Birdman disappeared to Thailand. So yeah, there you go. The research I did on PRED laid the foundation for how I approach trading today. Fundamentals matter. Diving deep into a company's history, financials, and promotional activity isn't just interesting, it's essential. Persistence pays off. Even though I wasn't making money at the time, the hours I spent researching and posting online gave me the skills and confidence to succeed later. Passion drives progress. My personality and passion for uncovering scams kept me engaged during the toughest times. It's this energy that helped me stick around with trading and refine my edge. Connections matter. My early interactions with Hindenburg Research gave me a glimpse into the world of professional short selling. It motivated me to eventually work with firms like White Diamond Research, exposing scams on a larger scale. Looking back, PRED wasn't just a trade, it was a pivotal moment in my journey as a trader. It gave me a taste of what was possible and showed me that even as a beginner, I could contribute to the larger trading community. This experience directly influenced my decision to focus on fundamentals, work for short report firms, and eventually expose scams on an international scale, like my investigation into a Colombia marijuana scam. That's another major experience in my trading career, being physically involved in exposing a marijuana stock scam. I'm thinking about making a full video on the incident as well as the other interesting pump and dump schemes that I have exposed in the past. Please comment pump trade if you'd like to hear about the details of my experience. In the next part of this video, it will be a high-level summary of the most crucial lessons I've learned over the last 8 years of trading. For all beginner and upcoming traders, there are many lessons I've learned that I wish I could share with you, and even my younger self. These lessons are what I want to preach to anyone who's starting out or struggling in their trading journey today. If you're ready for the real talk, please give me a free like on this video. Number 1, do your due diligence on who you follow. Trading isn't something you can learn from an accredited institution. It's not like becoming a doctor or lawyer with a structured path. Instead, trading is largely self-taught, and the materials you consume and the people you follow play a huge role in shaping your journey. Looking back, I made some crucial decisions early on that set me up for success. I was extremely careful about who I listened to. I researched every source of information, ensuring I wasn't following anyone flashy or unverified. I avoided gurus who relied on materialism, Lamborghinis, flexing on social media, or selling dreams. Instead, I sought out traders who were credible, transparent, and focused on education rather than hype. I focus on credible resources. For example, I devoured the Market Wizards books by Jack Schwager. If a trader in those books mentioned another credible figure, I followed that thread. I watched their interviews, read the books they recommended, and built my knowledge from legitimate sources. Trading is a profession where the failure rate is high. If you want to succeed, you need to separate yourself from the crowd by making better decisions about the information you consume and the people you emulate. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that trading requires the same level of dedication, discipline, and seriousness as any other demanding career. My background in architecture helped shape this mindset. Architecture took me nearly a decade to master. It required long nights in the studio, meticulous attention to detail, and an understanding of both art and science. I realized early on that trading, much like architecture, is both an art and a science. Art, the creativity and intuition required to interpret patterns and make decisions in dynamic markets. Science, the structured approach of studying data, refining strategies, and managing risk systematically. I treated trading with the same respect and discipline I applied to architecture. This meant putting in the hours, studying the markets relentlessly, and building my skills piece by piece. I wasn't motivated by material things when I started trading. By the time I entered this career in my early 30s, I had already faced significant challenges. Graduating with massive debt, recovering from a life-threatening brain operation, and pivoting away from a career in architecture after years of hard work. Materialism was the furthest thing from my mind. I didn't want a Lamborghini to show off or flex on my friends. I wasn't looking to prove anything to anyone. My motivation was survival and creating a sustainable path for a future. This mindset kept me grounded and focused on what really mattered, mastering the craft of trading. In the early days, I worked multiple jobs, driving for Uber, tutoring, and taking on whatever I could to make ends meet while learning how to trade. During this time, I realized the importance of eliminating distractions and noise. Here's how I stayed focused. I rented out a shared office space to give myself a dedicated environment to study. I avoided social media influencers and stuck to a few trusted sources for trading education. I spent countless hours reading, listening to podcasts, and journaling my progress. When you're trying to build something meaningful, whether it's a career or financial independence, you need to block out everything that doesn't serve your goal. It's 2025. If you're still falling for that alert or copy trading scam, I suggest you stay away from trading. There have been so many real, verified traders publicly pointing out why copying someone's buy or sell signals is just a scam. By the time you receive an entry alert, you're already late. You are just providing liquidity for the person who got in before you to exit their trade and take profit thanks to the liquidity that you are providing. If you want to pay for something, pay for your tools. Get the right trading tools to help you approach trading the correct way. As retail traders, technology is our best friend. I use Cobra Trading as my primary broker because I need to make sure that I can easily borrow stocks for my short selling strategies. I also review my costs of trading seriously, so having the limit order rebates and low commission structures of Cobra is very crucial for my trading as a business unit. Also, the most important part of day trading, execution speed. Cobra Trading offers advanced routing that ensures my orders get filled fast and at the best prices. I also integrated it with DOTStrader Pro execution platform, which helps make my trading even more seamless and efficient. Besides the broker that you use, you can also invest in an AI-powered stock research tool. It's 2025. We have Ask Edgar, a very powerful stock research tool that shows you accurate stock statistics, such as float and institutional ownership. My favorite feature is the AI summary of the SEC filings, news, and keywords that are helpful for my fundamental research. It's just so important to have tools that save you time and preserve your energy and mental capacity for your trading decisions. So review the tools that you have and feel free to see all of my recommended trading tools in the description of this video. Finally, the most important lesson I've learned is that trading success starts with building a solid foundation. This includes developing good habits like journaling your trades, maintaining discipline, and sticking to your routine. Mastering the fundamentals, understanding the basics of market structure, risk management, and psychology. Choosing the right mentors, learning from traders who are transparent, credible, and focused on education. By focusing on these foundational elements, I was able to navigate the ups and downs of trading and eventually find consistent success. If there's one thing I'd preach to anyone starting their trading journey, it's this. Treat trading like a serious profession, protect your capital like it's your lifeline, and don't let materialism distract you from the bigger picture. The trading world is filled with noise, hype, and unrealistic expectations. Stay focused on the process, commit to continuous learning, and most importantly, stay in the game long enough to see your hard work pay off. I've developed my own Friendly Bear University where you can learn stock trading in a structured way. There are lots of realistic trade examples and statistics, including to help you learn effectively throughout the program. If you're interested in joining my education program, click the link to the Friendly Bear University below.